Hello, welcome to another elementary behavior analysis help video. Today I'm going to be talking about respondent conditioning. Today I'm going to go over what respondent conditioning is, the difference between respondent and operant conditioning, and examples of respondent conditioning. I will probably split this video into two. In the first part I'll go over respondent conditioning, and then the second part I'll do examples. So first I'm going to go over some quick definitions. First we have unconditioned stimulus. This is a stimulus that naturally elicits an unconditioned response because this unconditioned response contributes to survival. And the unconditioned response is the response elicited by the unconditioned stimulus. Both of these occur without any prior learning or conditioning because as stated, they contribute to survival, and everybody is born knowing these. The neutral stimulus is a stimulus that has no significance on its own, but when it's paired with the unconditioned stimulus, it eventually becomes the conditioned stimulus. And then the conditioned stimulus is, as stated, the previously neutral stimulus that is paired with the unconditioned stimulus, and then eventually it will elicit the conditioned response, and the conditioned response is going to be similar to the unconditioned response. That sounds a little bit confusing, but once we go through some examples and some diagrams, it'll make more sense. So respondent conditioning occurs when an unconditioned stimulus, the US, which leads to an unconditioned response, the UR, is paired with a neutral stimulus, the NS. And then this neutral stimulus becomes a conditioned stimulus later on. This leads to a conditioned response, and this conditioned response, as I stated before, is going to be very similar to the unconditioned response. So respondent conditioning can depend on several factors. One of this is the nature or intensity of the US and CS. So if the US and CS are more intense, they're going to form a stronger contingency and a stronger response. The timing of the US and the NS and the temporal relationship between the two also plays a role. I'm going to go over a diagram that shows just what role these play. The contingency between CS and US also plays a role on respondent conditioning. The number of pairings can be a factor as well. Sometimes it only takes one pairing of the neutral stimulus and the unconditioned stimulus to create the conditioned stimulus and conditioned response, but sometimes it takes more. And also, if there's previous exposure to the conditioned stimulus, then this is going to have an effect on the conditioned response. So here are the different temporal relationships. At first glance, this can look a little intimidating, but it's really not too complicated. So first we have what's called trace conditioning. So as you see down here, this is going against time. So in trace conditioning, we have the neutral stimulus, and that's presented before the unconditioned stimulus. So this is going to be the most effective temporal relationship between the NS and the US. Delay conditioning is similar, except that the neutral stimulus is presented first, but then the unconditioned stimulus is presented while the neutral stimulus is still being presented. Simultaneous conditioning is when the NS and the US are presented at the same time. And then backward conditioning is when the US, as you can see from this bump here, is presented before the NS. And this is going to be the least effective type of respondent conditioning. So here's a chart that goes through the difference between respondent and operant conditioning. So the first thing is that when talking about respondent conditioning, you would say that the response is elicited. On the other hand, in operant conditioning, you would say the response is emitted or evoked. In respondent conditioning, it is controlled by the antecedents, or what comes before the behavior. In operant conditioning, it's controlled by the consequences, or what comes after the behavior. The diagram used for respondent conditioning, as you saw before, looks something like this. And then the diagram for operant conditioning is going to look like the discriminative stimulus, which leads to the response, which leads to the stimulus of either reinforcement or punishment. It can also look like the ABC contingency that we've used before. In respondent conditioning, conditioning involves pairing two stimuli. On the other hand, in operant conditioning, it occurs with the pairing of behavior and consequence. And then with intermittent intermittent pairings, so meaning that there is not a continuous pairing. In respondent conditioning, it will actually weaken the respondent. On the other hand, in operant conditioning, it will strengthen it. I went over a little bit on intermittent reinforcement schedules in my other video, so if you wanted to get some help on that, you could definitely check that out, but that is in regards to operant conditioning. Okay, I'm going to stop this video here, and then in the next video, I'm going to go over some examples of respondent conditioning diagrams.